Let us try this again. I think we're doing good now. Can you guys see me properly this time? I hope so. Man, I'm having some issues with the stream, but I think this should be good. Just quickly say hi in the chat box if you can see me, and then we'll get started with our story. As things are interesting today, guys. I know it is very early in the morning for a lot of you. Yeah, I see. Okay. So one thing I messed up with my settings now is I had to change the key. And the problem is that now I can't see my display before it goes live. I'm just live. All right. But when I tell you guys that things are getting juicy and I need to go live, things are getting pretty juicy and I need to go live. All right. Today I have just done a freaking trail of researching. And when you do that, you start to get pretty depressed because the crypto space is in such a hole. It is not good. Will it recover? I think so, guys. I'm not worried one single second. There's even a lot of indicators that I've showcased in the past that are, oh my days. Let me quickly change this to a little bit like this. There we go. That looks good. A lot of indicators that are keeping me quite bullish, quite excited. Even our realized HODL ratio, which does predict a lot of the tops, is looking as if we're at a juicy bottom right now for the Bitcoin price. But I digress. That's not what we got to talk about today. We have to talk about the whole FTX situation as things are just snowballing all from that. Now, guys, just quickly, if you're just joining the stream now, we're 1 minute in, make sure you press that like button. It is greatly appreciated. And comment in the chat box real quick where you're watching from. I already have Cullen in here watching at 4 a.m. from Rhode Island. That is wild. Right now, I think a lot of people are watching this in the early morning, huh? Anybody from the U.S. in here watching it from the early morning? You guys are wild. And also my eye. I'm not so sure. I think I'm a little bit tired. I woke up pretty early today. All right? Not your 4:30 early. You guys are wild, but still, that is crazy. All right, so to give you guys a little roundabout of what the story is all about, we have Singapore's side. We have, well, a couple of little jokes that are kind of scammy jokes. We'll talk about that. Justin's son, Vitalik, and a couple of people are involved that are pretty high up there. I don't think it's funny, but a lot of people seem to think it is very funny. We then have a full story on what's happening right now with FTX over in the Bahamas. BitBoy actually went to the Bahamas and is looking for Sam Bankman-Fried. He got kicked out of the office and things are getting pretty wild in that part. So we have to cover a little bit of what's going on, right? I mean, BitBoy is in the freaking Bahamas, so we got to quickly cover exactly what the frick he is doing there. And then we have a little bit more about the wake of the FTX drama, like what's going to happen to other exchanges now. And of course, Ripple weighs into all this drama. And actually, things are getting pretty interesting there as Ripple executive blames the SEC for the BlockFi demise and receipt of stolen funds. So we got a pretty good stream coming up here, guys. We got a pretty good stream coming up. All right. I was going to wait until we had about 100 people, but we got about, let's check it out. We got about 75. I think that's actually quite doable because it is very early in the morning. All right. Singaporean crypto exchange next to closed door after the FTX collapse. All you got to know about this one is in wake of the whole FTX drama, a lot of crypto exchanges are closing. And we already covered it before. Not a lot of crypto exchanges have now showcased it to you that they are closing or actually are at a loss or have a limited amount of funds. But I know this because I work with exchanges quite closely. And there are a couple of exchanges that all of a sudden changed their policy radically over the last couple of days. About a week ago, I got a text from one exchange specifically, and I don't want to FUD because maybe there's nothing going on, that all of a sudden said they want to stop all their efforts in promotion and all their efforts in everything, right? Which is interesting. I didn't work with them at the time, but it's interesting to see that. Now, there are other exchanges like Nexo, for example, who still text me saying, hey, nothing has changed. We're not affected by FTX. We're not affiliated with FTX assets and whatnot. We are good. But then on an opposite side, there are a couple of people I've spoken to in the crypto space that say that if Nexo had a little bit of a bank run, not a heavy one, but a little bit of a bank run, well, they wouldn't be able to pay it back because they're heavily over leveraged, so to speak. Now, again, the exchange in question is Bitfront. Never used it before, but apparently they're going to stop being exchanged in about 3-4 months from now. And from that point on forward, the withdrawal of coins will stop and user information will be deleted. So that's a full closure. That's a really significant one, to be honest with you. That's a full stop, full absolute freaking stop over from the end of Q1 2022. All right, then the little joke. I got to get this out of the way quickly because this can hurt a lot of people financially significantly if I don't cover it, quickly enough. So there's a joke going around in the crypto community about wrapped ETH. Right? There was a joke from somebody today saying wrapped ETH just lost its peg, and people are going all around, like Justin Sun and even Vitalik and whatnot, to say some jokes about needing to save it, for example. But as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing really going wrong. Whenever it says WEF, I instantly think of World Economic Forum, but they mean the foundation behind the wrapped ETH stuff, the Wrapped Ethereum Foundation. Not even sure if that's a real thing, the Wrapped Ethereum Foundation or not. I'm not really concerned with all this, nor do I really care. All I know is that people are making some really mad jokes about it, but as far as we've looked into it, there's nothing really going wrong. People are just memeing it a lot, and that's not good, specifically because, well, if people start to massively take the money out, sometimes the peg does get hurt. Even though it's backed one by one, sometimes it's a little bit of irreparable damage, because people just go crazy. All right. However, as I said, the story gets pretty interesting, and this, let me put up a real big caveat. Let me quickly say this. Let me quickly sneeze 1 second. I'm just a little bit of a, how do you say it? Like a little cold. So I want to, take that little schnozy stuff out without you guys being bothered. All right. So I want to put a big, could you guys see that? Did you guys see the fly or mosquito or thing? Okay. I digress. All right. I digress. Let me put a full stop, full stop right here and tell you guys. What I'm about to show you is going to be very controversial. Ultimately, very controversial. Level 999,000. All right? Maximum level controversial. And I want you guys all to take this at face value and maybe look into it more. But understanding that what I'm about to show you is not my own opinion. It is the opinion of somebody very well known in the crypto space, and that is it. I am not saying that this individual did anything wrong. I am not saying that this individual didn't do anything wrong. I do not know. I am not the judge. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. The court will have to make that out, which they already did, and they declared him unguilty, I think, but I don't know because they didn't look into it. What I want you guys to know, again, is this is not my opinion. I need to make that very clear because this man, BitBoy, just said something which is so vulgar that I need a couple of warnings to not get sued eventually. So, as you guys know, Kevin O'Leary was pretty into the whole FTX drama. He was a paid spokesperson by FTX, and he said recently that if Sam Bankman-Fried were to come up to him again, he'd invest into him again because he trusts him so much, or something like that, because he says he's a crazy kid in a good way. Now, BitBoy says, the fact is, Kevin O'Leary is but he covered it up, just like he is covering up his involvement and investment in FTX. Now, that I did not know because he literally said, hey, I'm a spokesperson, paid spokesperson by FTX, and we invested in FTX. Not so sure how he's covering that up. But Ben says, I believe FTX investors need to file a class action lawsuit against Kevin for his involvement in the FTX cover-up and Celsius sabotage. Now, the Celsius sabotage, again, I'm not sure how we link that back to Kevin O'Leary, but FTX right now is being uncovered more and more for actually playing a more significant role in Celsius and in BlockFi, which we're going to get to in just a second a little bit further. All right, so then I wanted to put a couple of caveats out there because that is pretty scary. Right? That's a pretty heavy accusation. The fact of the matter is, I believe his wife had a boating accident or so that he was there with, and he got declared unguilty, and I think 2 people passed away. But I don't know the details about it. I've just been following BitBoy, so I might have gotten a little bit of a skewed perception of all that's going on right there. All right, one donation from the chat box from the £2 or £1.80 says, what about exchanging holding at BNB? Do you know? What about exchanging holding BNB? Just a quickly intermediary question. The question I get quite often from people is BNB still good? I still hold a significant amount in BNB, and the reason I'm doing that is because I still believe in Binance and I still trust Binance. I still have my assets, not everything, but still a lot of it over on Binance still. And honestly, I think it's going to be fine. Again, that's my thoughts of the matter though, right? I cannot guarantee for you that it will be fine. I am keeping it on there because I personally see it as being fine enough. In the same sense that I still have a lot of money over on Bybit because I see it as safe enough. Is that smart? No. Am I the perfect role model? Absolutely not. I do some things which are a little bit riskier, but that's also because I think that's how I'm going to get the most amount of profit. The majority of my funds are on cold storage, but there's a lot of money on exchanges, period. It is. It's not smart, but I trust those guys. I met up with them many times. That means nothing, but it, sometimes you trust something a little bit, and I do trust this significantly still. Now, point being, with BNB, I still personally think the utility is quite there, and as long as Binance stays around, the BNB is going to do well. If you're meaning exchanges holding BNB that they might be able to sell, yeah, that's something I don't really have much insights to. I don't know how much BNB other exchanges hold, and I'm not sure what the selling pressure then is going to be if things do go bad. But I'm honestly not so sure about what exactly your question was. So if you could specify it a little bit better, I can get further into it. Now, again, BitBoy, we're going to dive into a little bit deeper in just a second. Let's quickly cover a little bit more, though. So one thing for all of you XRP holders that I think was interesting. Again, let me quickly know in the chat box if you're holding XRP. Just quickly say, yeah. Putin, right? Which nobody wants to speak out of, right? You guys know Putin. People don't want to criticize him, and I understand that. Powerful man. Putin calls for international settlements based on blockchain and digital currencies. Now, when I saw that, I got a little goosebump like that, like a little whoo. Because at the end of the day, what we keep calling out for is that international settlements based on blockchain, and specifically digital currencies, is the next big thing. Thinking of XRP right there, and potentially an XLM and potentially a couple of others. Now, when you then read that Putin calls out for this to need to happen, I don't know, but I get pretty excited like that. Even though he does not specify, hey, XRP is going to be that, yada, yada, yada. The fact that he literally calls out, hey, XRP's use case and the way it's doing things, that's exactly what we need for it, what's going to happen, what needs to happen. I think that's pretty huge. I think that means we're onto something. People can disagree, sure. But the narrative is there, and I personally am quite excited about it. I should also quickly let you guys in on a little secret. Right now, the crypto market is in a shithole. We can mostly agree with that. Crypto is not doing that well. But, and you have to understand this quite clearly as well, I think still that almost any single one of you watching this right now still has the chance to become a crypto millionaire. And I still think the majority of you guys will become that. Let me reiterate. If you play your cards right, you have to understand this. I have had a pretty interesting crypto journey, but as of 2017, basically, I started off with zero again because I lost the majority of my money. How? Well, at the start, I was playing around loads and I didn't have this pressure of needing money. I didn't have this pressure of, no, I need to keep everything. I had a mindset of risk everything to win big. And it failed a couple of times. It honestly did. Now, in 2017, when I got some money yet again, I think I got a $20 or so, $50, something like that. That started my whole new journey of actually making it pretty damn far in the world, I'd say. I'd say I'm financially independent. I'd say I never have to work again. I'd say I'm pretty good. Now, that all started in a span of, that all developed in a span of 5-6 years or so, with about $25 as a starting budget. Do most of the people watching this right now have $25 to their name? I'd say 99% of the people watching right now have that. Some people don't, but the majority of people do. And so with proper risk management and with proper investments, even though, of course, I got it in a little bit of a better crypto period, I still think it is very much doable if you play your cards right and if your risk is high up there. You got to understand, people like Sam Bankman-Fried, for example, people like Jeff Bezos, people like Mark Cuban even, and Kevin O'Leary, all these guys, They don't get hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars by taking it small. No. Very often you have to risk it to really get to as far as they've got. Let's say, for example, a really good example right here. Let's say you put in your $20 into a new investment and all of a sudden you see your money is up $1 million. A question you should ask yourself is, will you cash out? If the answer is yes, then you should really reconsider if you really are fit to become extremely wealthy, because the answer should be, well, why should I exactly take it out? I know that sounds kind of stupid, but the fact of the matter is that the majority of these guys have taken on so much more risk than any person would be capable of doing or holding. And very often that includes just holding on when the majority of people think it's too risky to do so, or placing money where most of the people think it's not smart to do so. That's what gets people extremely risky because, well, at the end of the day, it's all a risk reward. The higher the risk, very often, the higher the reward. Not always, but very often, that's the way it goes. And so with Jeff Bezos and all the others, that's exactly how it's gone. And with FTX, that was the way too. He risked billions of dollars to make billions of dollars. And in this case here, it went wrong. If it went right, he would have most likely doubled his net worth from, let's say, $15 billion to $30 billion, or let's say from $30 billion to $60 billion by just risking a massive amount. Again, here it went wrong, but it could have well gone right. And then, well, nobody would have batted an eye. Right? It would have been like, oh, wow, this guy's a freaking genius. I've said it before. And this, guys, everybody right now, think about this really carefully. Let me sip the tea right there to get you guys this story good. Let's say we have 1,000 people. And this is to show you guys that you don't need to be a genius to make it big to become a billionaire, actually. You could just literally be, quote unquote, lucky. Let me explain to you guys. Let's say you have 100 people. No, let's say you have 1,000 people. Let's say out of these 1,000 people, all 1,000 of them, now let's say 50-50, put on a long position on the crypto space, and 50% put on short. So they basically say 50% thinks the price is going to go up, 50% thinks it's going to go down. Repeat this every time, 50-50, 50-50, 50. So you keep taking half. Eventually you're going to come down to 1 or 2, whatever. As of this point, you've halved, where half is going to be right, half is going to be wrong. You keep taking off half, right? You keep halving it. Eventually, there's going to be one person who was right, let's say at least 10 times in a row. You have to understand this. You guys understand? And that person, if he every single time he was right, doubled his money, you guys understand how much money you make if you keep doubling it, 10, 15 times in a row, for example? You get a freaking lot. If you start with $10,000 and you double it 10 times, that's a very significant amount of money. And that, again, can be done by just risking crazy much 10 times in a row. And out of 1,000, you're the only one who actually succeeded, but it can't be. Just probability-wise, there are some people who just make it big without actually knowing the fundamentals, by just being quote-unquote lucky, even though I don't necessarily believe in luck that way. I just believe in making, I guess the right choices a multitude of times. Kig coming in with the $5 hype and $2 thumbs up. OG. Yeah, Kig has always been here in the chat box, I think for years now. Kig, how long you been watching around? It's been a long time since I saw you. But you've been around for a long time, my brother. Welcome back, my bro. I guess you're maybe always lurking, I don't know. But welcome back, my brother. Let's continue on with the story, though, so we don't have to get too far away. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried could end up in jail, Mark Cuban says. Again, I want to tell you guys that you want to take all this with a grain of salt. Do I think he deserves jail? Well, from the information that I've received, I think so. But all this is up to the courts. Which court? I do not know. I'm not sure if it's Bahamas or if it's U.S., because he's a U.S. citizen. But as far as the information I've gotten, I think that is a jail-worthy endeavor. Now, do I think he should be in jail based upon the facts? That I do not know, because we don't know exactly if he was at fault for any of the things which he's done, right? You got to understand, FTX going down is a multi-person problem. And we got grave or whatever, negligence almost proven, almost. But saying that it's any jail-worthy fact, that is something I don't really know. What exactly do they got to catch him for? People keep saying wire fraud or fraud in that nature. Maybe. But do you think it's actually going to happen is also another one. Now, Mark Cuban believes that crypto are here to stay, which I fully agree with. But also said that disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried should be afraid of ending up behind bars. Since the demise of Sam Bankman-Fried's crypto empire on November 11th, practically everything has been said regarding the erstwhile multi-billionaire and king of crypto. Canadian entrepreneur and media personality Kevin O'Leary describes Sam Bankman-Fried as the Warren Buffett of Bitcoin, which is funny. Robert Kiyosaki, which I had open yet again somewhere, but okay. Robert Kiyosaki, author of the New York bestseller Rich Dad Poor Dad, has referred to Sam Bankman-Fried as the Bernie Madoff of crypto. Yeah. Now, other crypto investors call him criminal, liar, and fraudster, among other derogatory terms, due to the 32-year-old mob-hair company's downfall. Quote, I don't know all the details, but if I were him, I'd be afraid of going to jail for a long time, Cuban, who owns the Dallas Mavericks NBA team, told TMZ. Yeah. The former FTX executive, however, was labeled a liar, despite his intelligence and occasionally modest demeanor. At least, that is what the CEO of Binance, the largest crypto exchange in the world, was cited as saying. I think Sam lied to his employees, his users, his shareholders, regulators all over the world, and all the users, CZ said on Twitter a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about. Now, FTX collapse drives curiosity around Sam Bankman-Fried, Google data shows. That's also true. Haven't you guys noticed? People all of a sudden paying a lot more attention to crypto, again, and people are also looking a lot deeper into all the details of things. I'm just quickly blowing my nose when I'm doing that. But it's true. People are looking a lot deeper into crypto and into Sam Bankman-Fried. And here's where things get exciting, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second, into the SEC. And that, all right, I can't show you guys the pants that I have on. Oh, no, it's fine. You know why, guys? I actually have a little Superman costume. No, I have nothing. Never mind. Actually, I shouldn't say that. That's stupid. You guys can't see. I have normal pants and normal little sweater. You know, it's normal. But never mind. Never mind the story I was going to tell you guys. I wanted to stand up. You know, I bought a desk that can actually, let's hope that it still works. It can raise itself and lower with a little click of a button or my iPhone app. You know, so I can literally click the button and my desk moves up. So I can actually make it a standing desk. Oh, see you guys in a bit. Okay, it needs to be higher. There we go. Now I have a standing desk. It can be higher, but then my phone cord is gonna... This is cool. I like this. I now have a standing desk. How short is this guy? I'm 6'4", if you guys wanted to know. Fun fact. 194 centimeters. I digress. So, anybody, you should understand. I feel like BitBoy now when I'm standing up. My desk, I might not be able to... Sorry for blabbering on a little bit. Let's see, I need to connect my phone then with the Wi-Fi instead of doing it via the cord. It doesn't matter. So, the whole FTX drama is, in my own opinion, getting a lot of extra attention to the SEC. And this is something that I described to you guys before. I personally think that by FTX's mistakes, we're actually going to benefit quite a significant amount as XRP holders, as crypto community, because right now people have to investigate further. They have to look into it further. One of the examples is right here. FTX collapse drives curiosity around Sam Bankman-Fried, Google data shows. And well, whatever they get when they look up Sam Bankman-Fried, they get fraud, they get problem with Bahamas, they get problem with crypto, they get problem with the SEC, right? You have to understand this. Now, here, for example, Bitcoin is not the problem. FTX is, by Robert Kiyosaki, following the crypto exchange's collapse. And that's interesting. But on an opposite side, if you look at Ripple, for example, they've stated this. Ripple executives blame the SEC for BlockFi demise and receipt of stolen funds. Again, you start to look into Sam Bankman-Fried, you're going to get to what exactly happened with BlockFi, what exactly happened with Celsius, what exactly happened with the exchange's stolen funds, what exactly did the SEC do in all of this, and why didn't they ever step in? Again, this story gets so deep because we also have this right here. FTX. Whenever you look it up, you find BlockFi. Whenever you look at BlockFi, you see they used, apparently, FTX funds to pay back the SEC fines, inquiries Ripple Counsel. All right, and we're going to talk about what the Ripple Counsel says in just a second. But what you got to also know, sorry guys, I'm stacking things on top of each other because things are so juicy. David Goxine just reported that the Bahamas AG just literally stated that CZ is at fault for the whole FTX debacle. And CZ's like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But we actually have a video, I believe, where that is stated. I didn't actually get the video all the way. Sleek says, but this is exactly how it happened. What did he say wrong? Ryan Pinder, Attorney General of the Bahamas, in an address written to the FTX, or I guess regarding the FTX collapse, indirectly blamed Binance, a major rival to FTX, announced it is selling FTT prompted a liquidity crunch and bank run on FTX. Now, you have to understand, even though CZ was the cause partially behind all of this, I wouldn't say he's the one to blame. Certainly, I wouldn't say that. But on the opposite side, well, the one that called it out is sometimes the one to blame for the eventual downfall. In the same sense that maybe potential one whistleblower is the one that made Bernie Madoff go down. That does not mean that that guy is to blame for or is at fault. It just means that he's the one to make things collapse, and that is true. Now, quickly putting on this headset so we can watch this video, hopefully.
Later on November...
Let's quickly watch this.
4 days later, on November 6th, Binance, a crypto exchange that is a major rival to FTX, announced that it was selling off all its substantial holdings in this same FTT token. This announcement prompted a large number of FTX investors to withdraw hundreds of millions of dollars in digital assets from FTX, causing a liquidity crunch. In short, FTX was experiencing the equivalent of a run on the bank when customers all rush in to withdraw all of their assets simultaneously.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Let me take this little piece off again. Otherwise, I don't feel free. All right, let's put that back. So, he's not completely wrong. He is not completely wrong. But it just depends on your perspective. Is he the one that made things collapse? Partially so. It seems that way. Would it have collapsed without him? Maybe. Is it his fault? No. I mean, if Sam Bankman-Fried had good fundamentals, this wouldn't have happened. And we now have this little narrative of you have to... I'm not sure why that happens, by the way, guys. Sometimes you see the analytics or sometimes you see something. I think it's just my computer making some mistakes because I didn't change anything. I didn't touch anything. It just changes the thing up a little bit. Hit that like button, guys. We are at 50 likes, I think. 55. We can easily get to 100 as we have 165 people watching. Make sure you press that like button, guys. Make sure you press that like button. I digress. Let me take this back. All right. So, yeah, you guys understand that situation. I don't have to keep going on further. Now, to talk about Ripple and its executive. This is interesting. Ripple executive blames the SEC for BlockFi demise and receipt of stolen funds. As the legal battle between Ripple Labs and the SEC enters the home stretch, the fintech is throwing one more punch. And as NewsBTC reported, November 30th and December 5th could be key dates that reveal a possible settlement between the two disputants. That is not true, even though it is kind of true. So they're taken out of context that on November 30th or December 5th, we're not necessarily going to get some sort of settlement. All this talks about is the fact that some new updates in the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit will be released on these dates. And so since we're going to get more information, the SEC might want to settle. However, that's only part of the story, right? So don't hold this too dearly. Regardless, Ripple's legal counsel and CTO continue to go full steam ahead in their confrontation with the SEC, harshly criticizing its enforcement policies against the crypto industry. And by the way, guys, what do you think if I do a live stream every single morning at the time that we did it just now? Every single morning from here on forward. Every single morning, just a live stream the same exact time to get you guys in a little loop of just constant coverage every single day. I might have to do that. Or at least a video. Either a live stream or a video talking about all the general crypto news in the morning for me. And I'll do maybe, I'll at least do 2 videos a day or so other people can also maybe tune in live. But I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be video or live stream, just depending on if I have time to do a live stream. Otherwise, it'll be a video. But I might do that just every single day at 1 p.m. Dubai time, 10 p.m. Amsterdam time, and I'm not sure what other time zones it will be at. I guess 9 a.m. England time. You guys understand, all right? I'm going to do that every single day, I think. Maybe like 11, though, Amsterdam time, and then 10 England time. Because I think maybe 9 is a little bit early for people in England, right? Sounds rough for me? Nah, I make videos every day. I love this, guys. You got to understand, I have no obligation to make this stuff. Literally. I can stop now and nothing's going to change in my life. Nothing. Except for the connection I have with you. And I honestly love this. I love this dialogue. I love this covering. I love this kind of sparring back and forth. I see you guys just chilling in the chat box right there. I don't know. I think I'll be able to manage. It's not a bad thing or something. I don't mind. Also, I see a lot of you guys commenting. And this is really interesting. That FTX did not even have an accounting department. They counted all your money. They just counted it like with their little hands, you know. I see that little girl. What's the name of the girl again? Just counting her money all day. That's kind of funny. The billions of dollars. She's like, I don't need my math degree. I can just do some simple arithmetic. I don't know what her name is. Kathy or some? Caroline. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Her laugh, I don't trust it, you know? And I guess for right reasons. Because, I mean, she scammed all of us. Well, take a step back. Allegedly, she made some mistakes in the accounting department, which was not there. I cannot say that she scammed everybody because I am not sure of that. I am saying, in my best knowledge, to my best knowledge, she did some bogus stuff, all right? But that is to my best knowledge. Legally, I am not sure if she did anything wrong and if she deserves jail time. Understand that. Understand that clearly. I am not saying she did anything wrong. I'm just saying I personally think she might have screwed me a little bit. How? I don't know. By just wrecking the crypto market. Maybe. In my own opinion. Not legal binding. I don't know for sure, but I think so. Making that clear. I don't think she's going to sue me though, right? I mean, don't they have anything better to do? How could I lose them money, really? There's 100 people watching. And out of those 100, a lot of people got hurt by FTX. She's going to come after me and say I'm lying? Man, I don't know. All I'm finding out is that she made a couple of mistakes. A couple $1 billion were missing. You know, she's connected to the SEC quite well. I'm adding 1 and 1 is 2. And that's kind of sketch. You know, she could come after me, though, I guess. If she really wants to. Because that would be pretty good content if she actually would sue me. That would be interesting. All right. Not impressed with the numbers. According to SEC, a record $6.4 billion... Oh, wait. Let's actually take a step back. I was actually reading the other article first. No? No, we were reading this one. Okay. So, Stuart Aldoty, Ripple's general counsel, echoed the SEC's recently released annual report, in which the agency praised itself. Very nice. The report shows that the commission brought 760 enforcement actions this year, a 9% increase from last year. Nice. Not impressed with the numbers, though. According to the SEC, a record $6.4 billion in penalties and restitution was imposed on behalf of investors. This is the highest amount in SEC history and an increase from the $3.852 billion in fiscal year of 2021. Let me see if I can actually stand up better. This would be even juicier if I can stand like this, I guess. Maybe like this. It's all about the cord. I should just next time not do this cord again. Learn from my mistake. There we go. I just have to kind of go down a little bit. According to the SEC, According to the SEC, a record $6.4 billion in penalties and restitution was imposed on behalf of investors. This is the highest amount in SEC's history and an increase from $3.8 billion from 2021. Quote, I continue to be impressed with our division of enforcement. These numbers, though, tell only part of the story, said SEC Chair Gary Gensler. Enforcement results change from year to year. What stays the same is the staff's commitment to follow the facts wherever they lead. Ripple's Stuart Aldoty was less than impressed with the numbers, accusing the SEC's agency of bearing much of the responsibility for BlockFi's demise, as well as engaging in unethical practices, because apparently BlockFi had agreed to a settlement with the SEC in February, and the SEC accused the company of failing to register its retail crypto lending product. Aha, so that's where things went wrong. In the first week of November, BlockFi paused consumer withdrawals, and the crypto lending platform had drawn down a $400 million line of credit from FTX US over the summer and was one of the first victims of contagion when the exchange went bankrupt. Because BlockFi reported that they did not have any assets on FTX. All the problem is that their loans are having some trouble, and they apparently got money from FTX, which now could not be properly used anymore, so they'd be in some trouble. You know, if your loans close down, I understand how you can get into some trouble. I understand that. If you had arranged for the company to be fine and helping you out of trouble. Because apparently, Alroti wrote via Twitter that nothing was ever registered under the BlockFi SEC agreement. What about the first two payments of the $100 million fine? If they were made, did the SEC confirm BlockFi's ability to pay and or the source of funds? FTX BCY shows a $250 million loan to BlockFi, and now customers' funds are blocked. So what the allegation here basically is what the SEC might have done right here is, this is kind of funny, they slap a little fine onto BlockFi, $250 million. And then a little bit later, they notice, oh, BlockFi can't pay. Well, just get a loan from freaking FTX then. No problem. As long as you can pay me back. You know, because we basically said you're doing something wrong, which you didn't know you were doing wrong. So we're going to fine you $250 million, and you can't do anything about it. And now, when push comes to shove, people can't get their money back. And so we're going to slap you again in the face with a little jab. Even though, at the end of the day, it's kind of funny. If you slap somebody with a $250 million fine, how do you know they can pay it back without doing due diligence? But then if you do that due diligence, and let me reiterate again, how can the SEC slap the BlockFi with a $200 million fine, $250 million fine, if they were not doing good business, if they were not making tons of money? But if they were, then why wouldn't they just pay that fine pretty easily, right? Understandably, and then just continue on with business? What the SEC has literally then done is wreck BlockFi, right? With this fine, they literally wrecked them because they needed to then go for a loan at FTX. That is, again, my deduction from this. But then it makes sense that the SEC actually is to blame for the BlockFi debacle, right? You guys are saying, Ken says, it's not their money, but they make heaps. What I also don't understand, from BlockFi's perspective, is why they continued on operating. So they got a fine, $100 million from the SEC. How come they could just continue operating then, though? So okay, you didn't register your product. Well, here's a fine, $100 million. Good luck from now on forward. What's that supposed to mean? Why wouldn't they need to stop if they were doing something wrong? Otherwise, why would they have to pay such a hefty fine? Both sides of that are kind of strange. Now, let's continue on. As per the Ripple legal counsel goes on to explain, the SEC is marketing the deal as a victory for protecting small investors, although BlockFi ended up intertwined with FTX and customers left holding the bag. Oh, what a tangled web. Now that again is where BlockFi, however, was in the wrong, partially, because they should have never let these things intertwine. And this is again over leveraging, risking too much, where if it works out, you make a lot of money or you keep a lot of money, but most of the time it does not. In the chat box, real quick guys, were you involved in the whole FTX debacle? Did you lose any money because of it? Yes or no? Just quickly put that in the chat so I can take a little sip. Let me know in the chat box real quick, guys. Were any of you guys involved in FTX, or did any of you guys lose money in either BlockFi or anything like that? I know everybody's portfolio is down. Don't catch me with that one. I'm talking about literally losing money in one of these platforms. Stay Curious says, what about BitGet? I personally still have a lot of money on BitGet. Can I tell you these things will forever be fine? No. Do I see any reason as to why they would be in such a quench though? No, it doesn't make sense. There are a couple of exchanges that I have on my radar that had a connection to either FTX or some of those affiliated companies. But a lot of the exchanges that I've personally used in my life do not, right? The only thing that might happen is them getting in a liquidity crunch because of some of that earlier connections, or because they were doing bad practices altogether. But with BitGet and with Bybit and with Binance, I know they're making so much money, and very often it's about their investment arm doing things wrong, or the underlying token having some troubles with backing and whatnot. I'm not sure BitGet even has a token. Do they have one? I don't know. Because if you don't have a token, then chances of things going bad are rather small. Maybe BitGet has one though. Maybe it is like BitGet token or something like that. I've never bought that, so I don't know. But for that reason, I'm a little bit less suspicious. Can these platforms go down? Obviously, yes. They can. And I'm looking you straight in the eye right now. Can any exchange that you're using right now screw you up and steal your money? Yes, they can. They 100% can, in the same sense that a bank can do the same thing. If you have your money in your bank, do you think it's your money as of that point? my child. Take a little second to realize. The moment you put money into a bank, you've officially signed your money away to somebody else. If you put $10 million into your bank account right now, and you want to withdraw it next week, you think they're going to let you withdraw it? Absolutely not. You're going to have to, you know how cumbersome it is to withdraw $10 million cold hard cash from your bank. Maybe in Dubai it's a little bit easier because they're like, okay, $10 million ain't nothing. But over the rest of the world, if you in the Netherlands want to withdraw 10 million, it's a cumbersome process. You're going to have to file for that. You are going to have to most likely go into the store and explain why you need those funds so bad and why you need it in cold hard cash. You're going to be discouraged for an hour or two as to why you should not take your money out, why it's not smart, and then you might need to go through a due diligence process so they can check whether or not you're doing something shady like financing somebody you shouldn't be with your money. And so forth and so on. Again, keep it in mind, your own money. This is your money. This is your funds. But you're going to have to answer all these freaking questions about it. And even then, it might still take a long time before you can get it. Now, is that the way it should be? No, because it's your money. Take it out. If I want to take it out, I want to take it out. Give me my money. But that's not how it works. And if then the bank has any trouble, well, they have some freaking, basically, insurances by the higher-ups, by the bigger banks. But things can eventually break, which they did, in 2008, 2009. Which is why, at that point, a lot of people lost a lot of their money because the banks they were trusting, well, they had some trouble. And right now, we're seeing that partially happening already with Credit Suisse, where people are noticing things are not indestructible. Things aren't. All right, let's continue on. As per the Ripple Legal Counsel, the SEC is marketing the deal as a victory for protecting small investors by suing BlockFi, right? By taking money from BlockFi. Although BlockFi ended up intertwined with FTX and customers left holding the bag. Oh, what a tangled web. Because how is that a win? They fined him $100 million, of which I see $0. When the SEC fines a company, I, as the small investor, see none of that money. They see the money. But then the company goes down and I lose all my money. How is that a win? How is that a win? I don't understand. Australian lawyer Bill Morgan replied to Alroty. He said that consequently, crypto assets of FTX BlockFi investors, which the SEC is supposed to protect, were used and the SEC received stolen funds. Is receiving stolen funds a crime? Crime? Not sure why it's crime double. Ripple CTO David Schwartz also commented, noting that it is even worse. Schwartz said that the fact that BlockFi borrowed funds from FTX for fines could be related to the fact that BlockFi assets were stored at FTX, which they said, I believe, was not the truth. In other words, the SEC may have weakened BlockFi financially to the point that the company had no choice but to store crypto at FTX to keep it running, which may have been the reason for the collapse. And again, they have stated themselves, this is not the truth. All it has to do is the fact that they used loans from FTX, which all kind of collapsed. They kept their money in own custody, they said. Again, I cannot verify, but that's what they said. At press time, the XRP price abruptly fell in line with the broader crypto market and was trading at 38.2 cents. The XRP price did pretty well yesterday, huh? Did you guys also see that? All of a sudden, it was up like 10% or so. Things were doing really well. That was really all of a sudden. Also, guys, if you're watching this still, make sure you press the like button if you haven't done that yet. We have 160 people watching, 80 likes pressed. Make sure you get that like up to 100 just quickly, just easily, just help out. Why not? We have nothing to lose, so make sure you press that like button. We already covered this partially, right? BlockFi used FTX funds to pay SEC fines, inquiries, Ripple counsel. Crypto lender BlockFi is reportedly preparing for bankruptcy filing. However, general counsel of Ripple found something fishy in the SEC deal. Yeah. Bahamas Attorney General says there is an active criminal investigation into FTX, which is good. Stuart Alroty said, again, like we already covered, the whole The debacle with BlockFi SEC is actually pretty sketchy if you look deeper into it. Where's Batman if you need him? Yeah, that's a good question, everybody. That's a good question. Messiah said, hire me, Sam. I'm an idiot too. That's kind of funny. I like that. Hey, who's watching still? Actually, a lot of you guys that commented at the start of the stream, I can't see you guys in the chat box anymore. Who's still watching right now? I have the chat open, guys, just so you know. I always take a look at the chat right here. It's always in the near vicinity. But I'm just seeing a lot of the names that were actively in here are not here anymore. But the average watch time for people is about 8.5 minutes, which is actually really high. So that means a lot of you guys are still lurking around, but just not saying anything. Okay, RM has been since the beginning. Shane is still here. Akanji is still here. Akanji, what's up? Stay Curious says, I don't really get how futures work. Okay, just maybe look up how futures work, my brother. Doug says, just got here to say Sam sucks. Fair enough. I would say rightfully so. Rightfully so, my brother. I mean, I can't say, oh no, he's actually a really good guy or something like that. Yeah. The AG deputized BitBoy Crypto and called it an investigation. So, for all of you guys wondering what is going on right now with the whole BitBoy drama, it's really actually pretty funny. So, for all of you that do not know, BitBoy headed over to the Bahamas. And right now, he's putting up a little show to actually investigate into Sam Bankman-Fried himself. And I really wonder why I didn't come up with the idea, but I guess also because, well, if I go there right now, I'm going to be able to find nothing. And so I'm going to go to the Bahamas and just stand there on the island waiting for something to happen because I don't know where their office is supposed to be. And apparently they also found his car. They found everything, right? If you guys don't know, he's been making a couple of videos. Let me actually take the headset again. Let's quickly take a look at these. Because he's been doing some great-ass reporting. I appreciate this, you know? I don't think the majority of this is useful, but I do think it's quite interesting. So let's quickly watch this.
At One Cable Beach.
Uh-oh. It's not going in my ears. Please connect Bluetooth, please. There we go.
There was a Washington Post article that said that Sam Bankman-Fried's parents owned a property here. We just got some really interesting information since we've been here. Someone came out and started talking to us. Apparently, there was one unit at One Cable Beach that they rented. They didn't even buy it. So there's a lot of discrepancies on this real estate that they own, and they've done it with some shell companies and stuff like that, so it's hard to really know what they have. We've been told they did not have a whole floor. They did not have a penthouse. They had one unit here, and we're still trying to figure out where is this $121 million worth of real estate that they have. All right, guys, we are here.
That's actually a good question, too. For all of you that didn't know, it's been reported that, just checking this out. It's been, yeah, it's like he just needs like a little microphone and a little news overlap because he's been literally going to the field to cover this stuff, which is kind of funny. But it's been reported that Sam Bankman-Fried's parents, together with Sam potentially, bought $120 million worth of real estate in the Bahamas. But where exactly is it then, right? Where exactly is it?
Bain, he's an activist here. Bain, he's an activist here. He wants to clean up the corruption in the Bahamas. We want to clean up corruption everywhere there's corruption. They reject FTX, but I really liked his viewpoint on things, that it's not crypto that's the problem, it's the exchange, it's FTX, it's SPF that's the problem. Found out a lot about the government corruption. We exposed a lot of stuff. We broke some stories about real estate, the way that they're hiding money through real estate, customer funds. So, it's good, man. We're bringing these people down. They ain't got a prayer against me in Lincoln. Went in there, hung out.
Peculiar. Let's see if we can find some more juicy videos of Mr. BitBoy finding out stuff. He hosted a breaking FTX news yesterday recording. I'm not going to play that. It's going to take hours. Whoa! Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. Things got very interesting for BitBoy. He says, whoa. Okay. David Goggstein said, we have BitBoy out in the Bahamas doing the work that mainstream media should be doing if they weren't paid off to surpass this news by the 0.01%, as Kevin O'Leary called it. BitBoy says, I may show up at Kevin's house next. Thank God Kevin O'Leary isn't in the Bahamas. Do you know how much water is here? would be extremely dangerous. And then Kevin O'Leary replied saying, hey, crypto bozo, if you show up at my house, you can take out the garage and I'll pay you. Your first honest job. I invest in lots of entrepreneurs. Why not you? And he says, I am in. DM me your address. Peculiar. Peculiar. Let's see as well. What's going on in the background? Is somebody on television? Kevin O'Leary. Yeah, okay. I don't want to cover that too much anymore. Again, I don't have all the details on the whole Kevin O'Leary drama, so I want to kind of keep that slowly but surely out of the horizon until we get more things covered. It's kind of funny, this discussion, though, right? Between Kevin O'Leary and BitBoy. It shows how big the crypto space is becoming, I guess, that we can get to these lengths as far. Let's see. Hey guys, this is extremely important. Here's what we've been told. No Bahamian resident has filed a complaint for theft against Sam Bankman-Fried. This is why he has not been arrested by police here. If you're a resident and file a complaint, send the details to me and we will show it. Because apparently there's not that much going on in the Bahamas in terms of the reports from people.
Because there's a reason why they feel safe enough to where they can just call security and try to get us kicked out. It's unbelievable. When you've got as much political power as Barbara and Joe have, and you guys make connections as you have, and you're used to doing whatever you want to do your entire life, being a securities lawyer, coming up with $121 million for real estate, as professors and security lawyers, it's very apparent what's going on here. And their scam is up. Their jig is up. People know this at this point.
Yeah, and even Jeremy Hogan came out to say, here's the Bahamian Criminal Penal Code for fraud. Seems like taking people's money under false pretenses fits this bill. Has anyone filed a police report against FTX? Might be something to find out or do while you are there. Yeah. It would be very interesting if nobody in the entire Bahamas actually filed a complaint. I have not been able to safely get onto the property of FTX headquarters, but I can tell you, everyone within a mile of this property is in on the conspiracy. How much money did FTX donate to the private sports field next to it? Someone chased us off there even. I mean, you got to understand, like I covered on Twitter a little while ago, let me show it to you guys. FTX is so into the... Let me actually see if I can find the tweet from yesterday somewhere. FTX is so into the system. It's actually a lot earlier that I covered this. Here we go. They were doing $100,000 worth of catering every single week in the Bahamas. That's all gone now. At least the majority of it is gone because they filed for bankruptcy, but there's still a lot of people there. But still kind of strange because the people all around there were making tons of money from these rich folk, which the article stated. So it's kind of logical that they'd rather have them stay than them being exposed or whatever. Now, there's also a massive trail of unemployment on such a small island. All these people are going to have to move, all these rich people, so to speak, because, well, they got no job anymore. They have to go for a freaking, another remote-ass job or something like that, or find a new company. Maybe they'll find a new crypto endeavor over there. I'm not so sure exactly about that. But it's so peculiar in the sense that all these people now have no more job. Where they're all going to go. And all the people that were working around FTX, like even, for example, the janitors, all the cooks, and all the food people, all the cleaners, the cleaners and janitors are kind of similar. They all have to look for a new job where they probably were paid, they're paid a lot. So they'd rather have FTX stay around, which is logical. Also, Bahamian security guards now guarding nearly vacant buildings. There were security guards for the buildings. There were security guards for the people because a lot of them were freaking rich as could be. And the security guards were relatively pretty cheap, what I found out. So they all of a sudden have no more jobs and are guarding buildings that have no more people inside. So it's obvious that they do not like the way in which things were going right now, right? They'd rather have the way it was going before. I think that's quite logical. I'm personally quite certain that if I was in the Bahamas right now, I was just working for FTX basically, I'd rather have them stay than them going bankrupt. I'd rather have nobody investigating their business so things maybe fix themselves again, right? I don't know. I feel as if that's the most logical way for things to go if you're actually working there. That's different than if you're invested in it and are losing money. I'm talking about, you understand. All right, let's see. Yeah, this joke was really funny. He says, he finally came out. He said funds are safe with Sam Bankman-Fried as a little joke, right? He actually caught me for a second. The moment I scrolled like this before, and I saw like, oh, and I got really excited, but he didn't actually find him. I thought, well, he actually got to make a video with them, which is funny, but no. Yeah. So he's just going around the Bahamas right now trying to figure out stuff, which is just absolutely wild, but okay. And what is this?
My name has been every day on this channel. I show you how to make money in crypto. Let's move on. Let's talk about the secret token, FTT. That is the token of FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried. Everything this man touches turns to gold. I don't know. Moon. There's a massive story out right now about FTX.
Hit him with a dab. At the end of the day, though, you cannot really blame the guy, right, for making this excited video about FTT, about FTX. Can you really? Let's be honest here. Didn't most people think that exchange tokens were doing pretty well or were looking pretty well? I'd personally say so. I even thought that a lot of exchange tokens were good. And the reason behind that is because, well, there's a multi-billion-dollar discrepancy that even Binance could not see until recently. Now, how do you expect me or BitBoy or any of these guys to be able to figure out this discrepancy of multi-billion dollars when even Binance themselves, who literally hold hundreds of millions of dollars worth of FTT and are literally the biggest competitors, even they could not see it until, quite late. So I don't think you can blame him for that, because honestly, the value proposition behind these behind these exchange tokens was pretty good. As long as the exchange survives, these tokens will generally speaking do pretty good and are pretty safe holds. Now, again, the exchange did not survive, so the hold is not fine. But yeah, I can understand exactly why he thought that was a good endeavor. Is this their office or something? Or is this his home? This does not really look like an office, right? Yeah, and Baba also has a good opinion. At least he's doing something. What are you doing? He's trying to figure out how to find freaking Sam Bankman-Fried and the others. But yeah, he says, do you guys see how low the IQ these people are? They can't do 5 minutes of research. Maybe you need to be on some of Sam's meds. Yes, I'm a scammer because before we knew it was insolvent, we thought a utility token of the quickest growing crypto empire in history may pump, which again, I think is quite logical. These people have no idea how to read a room. Meanwhile, the guy likes putting on spray tanner and walking around in a Speedo for attention. Is that what he's doing? Ah, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, things are getting interesting though. I really wonder what's going to come out of this investigation in from BitBoy into Sam Bankman-Fried and just the whole FTX debacle over in freaking which country? Bahamas. Alistair Milne said rumors that Caroline, right, the CEO of Alameda, has fled Hong Kong to Dubai over 2 weeks since bankruptcy. BitBoy arrives in the Bahamas looking for Sam's staff. At his residence, claim no one else has bothered, and Sam Bankman-Fried is still a free man. I wonder if he's still in the Bahamas or if he's left. I guess he's still there, right? And people are circulating this video so much. But what's the point? Again, there's going to be tons of people who at some point said that any other... For example, there's going to be tons of people who thought that Bitcoin was going to go to $100,000. I mean, it's just a logical way of things to go. Things are doing successful, so you expect more success. Things are doing bad, so you expect more things to do bad very often. Yeah, but I don't really think it's too crazy that he was excited about it before, because it was the most logical way of things to go. I personally think. They found his car, by the way. You guys maybe did not see the video yet, but they found Sam Bankman-Fried's car. There was an interview a while back where Sam Bankman-Fried said, "Hey, this is my car," with a license plate, and they found it. There's an MSI laptop inside and some else. Let's quickly see. There's also a video floating around of them. Ooh, he's blocked by Sam, huh? I guess. Let's see. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, post a picture, AJ. Post a picture. I'm literally leaning on his car right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm literally deboing this son of a bitch, you know? Hey, post it.
Okay, let's see if we can find more.
Where are you? We're looking for you. We just want to talk, Sam. I know that's where you're at, buddy. It's okay. Sam, in all seriousness, though, we just want you to come tell your story. Unblock me on Twitter. Come tell your story. Let's talk. I'll come up there. I'm not scared y'all are going to kill me. It's gonna take a lot for y'all to do that. I just want to talk. That's all. Or you can come out. You can come out down here. It's fine. You can come out down here. We're down here, buy some yachts. I mean, check out these nice yachts over here. That's a famous yacht right there. But we're just out here. That's all we want, man. Just come talk.
Okay, it bothered me a lot that he zoomed in the whole time. Please zoom the frick out when you're going towards things close to you. But, I mean, he's there, though, right? You got to give it to him. BitBoy is actually there investigating Sam. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. He's literally at the car. According to Twitter, this is Sam's Corolla, complete with pills in the front seat. Maybe someone can identify what they are. And an MSI laptop in the back. Sam Baker-Fried, look at your window, bud. If I just want to talk and tell your story. It's kind of funny. You could just leave a laptop like this. That's almost $2,000 just in the back of your car. There's the meds. I mean, for all we know, he doesn't actually drive that car. It's just situated there all the time. Can't say he actually uses that car, right? At least one floor was bought with my money. Yeah, the situation is still sad, guys. I can't make it better. I really can't. People are finding out more and more and more about all the donations that went on. For example, FTX US donated $1 million to Super PAC aligned with Mitch McConnell in October. They're starting to figure out more and more and more about how he literally, or they, donated a lot of money just before things collapsed. But what can I do now? What can I do now for us now that we know that it happened? We all know he donated a ton of money to these political figures. All that matters now to us is exactly what does that mean? Exactly how is that going to get him more privilege? Well, that depends on exactly who he donated to and who is in power. Little funny video again. So yeah, BitBoy taking him down, huh?
Pain time, baby. When it's game time, it's pain time, baby.
Oh my days. Oh, things are getting crazy in the crypto space, guys. Things are getting crazy, crazy, crazy. And I think it's been a lovely endeavor to watch. I think I'm finding it so fun because I did not really lose money. I had some money in AAX, I think like $1,000 or so, maybe a couple $1,000. I don't remember exactly. That is surely lost because I think even an executive from AAX just left and that one is not recovering anytime soon. But I think for the most part, I'm pretty unscathed, except for, of course, my crypto portfolio going down. But maybe that's why I can laugh at the whole situation. Maybe if you lost 90% of your money in the whole FTX drama, you'd be a lot more sad. Sure. But again, it's also a wonderful lesson. Don't mess with these exchanges as much. Only keep the money on there that you're trading. And I'm trading a lot over on Bybit, so my money is still in there for sure. But yeah. Gisep says, Sam Bankman-Fried's debacle set us back at least a year. I'd very much disagree. I think these major regulators are trying to pin it all on this. But at the end of the day, I think the fact of the matter still remains that because this happened, we're going to get crypto regulations now sooner than ever. Are they going to be a little more negative? Maybe so. But we're going to get them though. So from that perspective, it might actually be a good thing because it had to happen. Some sort of exposure needed to happen. Or some sort of step needed to be taken, and this downfall was the big step that made the cookie crumble. Also, crypto adoption, I think is going to actually tumble in a good way because of this, like a spiral in a good way. You got to understand, the amount of people that heard about crypto now because of all of this is just massive, massive, massive. It's just massive. It's massive, massive, massive. FTX under active civil and criminal investigation by Bahamas AG, Bahamian Security Commission, the Prime Minister's Financial Intelligence Unit, and a Financial Crimes Unit are all involved in the FTX investigation. And I wonder why it takes so long to investigate and why not just arrest him if you're already assuming that he did things wrong. I don't understand exactly. Why not just go after him right now and then maybe take your hands back if things are not as heavy? But maybe he's not a flight risk. Otherwise, I mean, he's hurt literally millions of people potentially. So why not just take him in just to be sure? I do not know. Apparently, Coinbase on the opposite end. I've read tons of stories of Coinbase potentially being insolvent. People talking out about that. Apparently, Coinbase is actually going to expand significantly. Here's an article. Coinbase names 4 new executives to lead the European expansion. That's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. Interesting. I'm not sure they were... We also have some news coming in from Nigeria. I'm just checking out what the most recent news was that's been sent to me. I'm not sure if this is real yet. I didn't verify anything as of this point, so take it with a grain of salt. Is Nigeria about to ban crypto? Is crypto part of digital assets in Nigeria? Nigeria is in the 11th position in the top 30 countries in Chainalysis' Global Crypto Adoption Index. Nigerians see crypto trading as the ultimate solution for their problems in payments to international investors. That could be interesting. I'm not so sure what's going on there. I am not so sure what is happening there. That could be interesting. FTX demise part 4. Bankruptcy experts weigh in on the next steps for FTX. We could maybe check that one out as well. Let me quickly open it up. So what it says right here is there's a little talk that these guys had. In the 4th installment of The Scoop, Frank Chaparro examines the legal underpinnings of FTX bankruptcy. Quote, one of the things that they're going to look at is where did money go out, where value didn't come back. And to the extent money went out, where value didn't come back, that's a natural target for a fraudulent conveyance lawsuit or a fraudulent transfer lawsuit. Now that it's all become so public and so much money has been lost, I'm just reading something on the side. So I think the paternalistic side of the government is going to take over and try to do something about protecting investors, which the SEC claimed they've been doing for a long time. But if we then look at the whole BlockFi situation, well, very often that's not exactly as it seems, right? They haven't really been doing exactly as it seems. They've been hurting more than they've been helping. Yeah. And when do we get the tape from Carolina and Sam Bankman-Fried, huh? That's a good question. I'm still waiting for that too. I'm still looking, refreshing crypto Twitter every single day behind my little computer. But I can't find it. Michael says, Dusty, it's your turn to go to Gary's house. If we show up at Gary Gensler's house, that would be the ultimate joke. I don't think it's going to do anything because he's not going to open the door. Hey, Gary, I just want to talk about Ripple and what you did right there. Hey, Gary, I just want to talk about what you did to BlockFi. Come out and talk to us. I don't think he will, but it's funny. Yeah, I guess BitBoy is setting up a new thing, though, right? He's doing what mainstream media is refusing to do, and I think it's a really important endeavor of holding these people accountable for some of the things which they've caused and not let them just escape it by staying off the radar. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the matter. That's my thoughts. Violetta says, hey, from Greece, respect for BitBoy for doing this. No one else is. I'm out of all exchanges because I see it. There's a war on exchanges, possibly from banksters. Maybe. One thing I should admit there as well is we got to give BitBoy respect, but it's also a very good business move, right? You have to understand, BitBoy is going to achieve most likely not that much over in the Bahamas, actually. If you think about it, going there to report is resulting in almost a net zero positive result because all the reporting is just fun, but in actual making steps, you could have had as much of an impact by just contacting people that are already there instead of going there. But now you can report on it and make a show, which is a lot of attention, which I enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy it. But from his perspective, it gets him a lot of attention, right? So that's also a really good thing. By going there, you're getting hundreds of thousands of eyeballs on you. So that helps. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's doing this because he has the courage to do it. No, it's just a really good strategic move from every side. Either making him money from just all the eyeballs, or making him attention from all the eyeballs, logically. Or potentially find something out which gets him more eyeballs and potentially more justification. But on the opposite side, XRP Billionaire says BitBoy's a clown, just doing this for more attention and more followers. I got to give it to him. I'm not going there, right? I mean, I'm too lazy to go all the way to the Bahamas because I think there's a minus ROI. If I go there now, you have to buy your way there. Then what? I'm just going to be there. Nobody's going to watch me extra. I'm just going to be there chilling, doing nothing. I guess maybe mini vacation. Let me look up a ticket to the Bahamas right now. Let's check this out. Flight from Dubai to Bahamas. It's a one-day flight. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is awful. Wow. Okay, what if I go from Amsterdam? What if I go? Oh, no, that is awful. That is awful, everybody. That is awful, awful, awful. This is One remote-ass place to get to. What is this? Damn. Oh, travel restricted. Maybe I can't go there. Maybe it's like, Oh, no, it's just, okay. Wait a minute. How do I get there? Bahamas. Do you have to go with a private plane? They can get there, right? Nassau or something. 43 hours. Or Freeport, 28. Ah, guys, I ain't going to the Bahamas. I'm not flying 40 hours, my buddies. Sorry, guys. 7 stops to get to freaking Nassau. Sorry, guys. I ain't going. I ain't going. Okay, never mind. That's just a really cheap one. There's also other ones with 26 hours with only 1 stop. I'm like, what the that is insane. That is insane. Oh, okay, I found one for 16 hours. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. If I fly from Heathrow, I only have Miami and then Linding. Okay, point being, it's pretty freaking far. So I'm not really about that life. Just checking out just for fun. See how much it is from the United States. United States is still pretty far away, though, guys, right? To get to the U.S. first. I think, guys, by the way, little fun fact. I mean, we covered all the content that I had for today. Just as a fun little question. Which place in the U.S. is really fun to go to? I've always been thinking about just going to the U.S. for fun, but whenever I think about it, I'm like, where do I go, though? Where do I go, though, right? What is fun to go? I'm thinking maybe I should go to Miami now because there's Decentral, like right now, like literally leave tomorrow. But, yeah. I have nothing really. Let's see here. This is right now, the 28th and 29th. Yeah, it's literally today. Now, if I leave today, I'll arrive tomorrow and be too late. Never mind, that has no purpose. There's no purpose. All right, guys. Then I'm going to leave you all for today because we've covered everything that I need to cover. So I'm going to let you guys go back to your hopefully good lives, not so miserable lives, even though FTX collapsed. That was it for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it, or I guess our live stream for today. I enjoyed it a lot. It was really fun. It was really, really fun. We covered a lot of juicy stuff, and I tried out the standing desk, right? And this way I can... Oh. It's not as close as close as I expected. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. See you guys again tomorrow. I'm going to try to do this stream every single morning from now on at around 11 a.m. Netherlands time, about 2 p.m. Dubai time, and potentially about 10 a.m. England time. So just tune back in tomorrow. Make sure you press that subscribe button with the notification bell. I don't care if you subscribe or not. It's all about getting the notification because sometimes there's breaking news and you have to be made aware of that. That's it. If you subscribe or not, it doesn't matter to me. It's all about that notification. But that was it for today, guys. Hopefully, I'll enjoy your day, and I'll see you again in another one. Peace out, everybody.